Welcome, vlog. Today I'm wearing my 18 jacket since it's cold outside. Put the weather on, if you remember. Oh. Don't you start. You acting like a person that doesn't let people have their interests and let them. What's your interest? Xavier from Wednesday.
Get over it. He's a bad person.
That's a bad one. You have to watch the show.
We like the other one.
No, we don't.
We like the one with the penis. I just saw a picture of him.
That's it. No, it's Ajax. The actor. I don't like Xavier. I like Rowan, but I like the way Xavier. Oh yeah, I saw all the edits, and it's okay.
So, he's the one that was going insane.
What I like glasses. Today, tomorrow.
Yes. That's the thing. It's under the car. And I did this stupid thing of entertainment, and now look at me.
Don't blame that on yourself.
Oh, I didn't really do anything like
No.
you know, but I just kept responding. I should have just left him.
No,
I can't just leave him off.
It's like, hey.
He wants to go in a thing. I tried to put a blockade, and I was like, my mom's kind of strict, and she said I don't know what I think she would want to do. And he was like, I'd be in your mom.
Not Monica. No.
It's okay.
You say my mom, I'm and my dad. Dave. You don't have a pee. I'm not really interested in looking for
But I can't say that after we've seen each other. It's gonna look like I saw him in person and was like grossed out. His ego like that. You should just. But I was. I don't like guys. Oh my god. What if he goes and tells him? Then I'll never have a chance with any guy again. One of my options was women, not men. Like this whole conversation don't even say you.
Grandma nutritional facts.
And it was. Did you hear about grandma talking?
Wasn't it behind your mom? No, it was, guys, it was so bad. I had to walk away because I was uncomfortable. I was running out of that class, and I was running in the hall this morning.
We should interview. Wait, put me back on. Okay, hello. Oh, okay. If you're a skater boy from Lafayette High.
Turn the camera. Okay, so
I don't care.
So you know what happened? So you listen.
I tried to. I cleaned it with alcohol and it didn't work.
You clean it with alcohol, no one.
So listen, get
Alcohol, it cleans things.
wait, listen. So this man said she could buy this and he told me he had to stop.
You saw that video I sent you? It was so cute. Little skateboarding down.
He just told me at first, I don't think it's crazy. And I said, LOL. So then he snapped me this morning when I was up, and he's like, do you drive? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I'll find you whenever you get out your car. And I was like, I'm walking with my friends.
She called Chloe's mom to make sure.
I called Chloe's mom to make sure she would drop them off near my car so I would walk alone. Because I did not want to like be so there.
Really need your Chromebook. It's up here on the
Walking
board.
slow, talking fast.
Other than in the notes, in the slideshow, it just has the name of the formula. It doesn't have anything else in it.
Oh,
was that class again. Because I couldn't change it. When he was friends, that's also and then he looks at me and I'll give him a little smile and all. He's always trying to see it together. And he goes, he's right here where he was this morning. And I just went, and I just kept and I think one of his friends laughed at me because I didn't say anything. He was like,
No. I mean, no.
you're running real high.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. No.
Cat is back on.
But it's embarrassing.
Should I find the phone?
But here's the thing. I'm not locked in. I didn't send him nothing.
See?
My body's a temple.
Oh, wow. Rajana.
I didn't send him nothing. I didn't agree to nothing. He wanted it all.
No, you better not because
I'm a little scared.
you better not. Pause the camera.
Okay, pause it. Yo.
Panic to know.
That was fast. I mean, what the heck? So what? Fucking Chips Ahoy is
The actual place.
This is a little instructor.
Chips Ahoy is a
The only thing Google Classroom on this
It's had the Hoy there. And
we're
it's
finished with the word.
What's a Hoy? I never heard of a Hoy. Don't do that for the cameras.
The cameras are not good.
The cameras are on. And they caught that shit on camera.
Oh.
And you going to jail. And you going to jail. And I'm telling you.
Who even go to church? Either do it. Yeah.
I can tell him right now and he listens because he has to break
I'm following
It just doesn't make sense. There's so many plot holes. How is Mary a virgin, but she couldn't have any kids? Like, you would have to know.
I don't know. I don't think because she's a virgin.
You think she couldn't have kids? I think I'm infertile.
I used to pray that I was infertile, so I could get my period. I'd be like, please, I don't even want kids.
I was like, I could just sell this shit, right? She was like, put it on Wednesday. I was like,
I don't sign me take this. Like, hey, I want something.
should look for signs.
My book is
People use it so they can
itself up to
People use it for people who can't actually have them.
Take mine.
I
I don't want it. I don't want kids. If I do,
I'm getting rid of all of it.
I want
Except
kids. I'll adopt. I'll get a dog. And I'll be like, that's too much work. I'll get a pet and then realize taking care of things is too hard.
And you know what? I'm tired of tripping over guys. Because last night, I put the thing to add yourself to a private story I made. Right? And in my private story, I posted a video with me in a band t-shirt. I was completely clothed. But I was just showing how big it was. And why am I tripping over guys when like 6 of them stood up and was like, you're so pretty. Thank you. Tell that to the guy who just lost his fucking chance. Maybe he'll appreciate it more.
I need everybody's attention. We're actually going to get started this time.
One of them said, what did he say?
Alright, so we're going to look at continue. So that means I have how many pairs left? 12. So I'm going to start putting them where? On the oxygens. And how many am I going to put on each oxygen? 3. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, right? So that used all 12 pairs, right? So now I have no pairs left over. Does everybody have 4 pairs?
Yes.
The terminal does. The central atom also has 4 pairs. So am I finished?
Yes.
Not quite. There's one other thing, and this is one of the most missed things on the test. It has a negative charge, right? So that means I had to add an electron. So I have to do something to my diagram to show that an electron was added. What we're going to do is whenever you have a polyatomic ion, so whenever you have one with a charge, you're going to have to take, and you're going to put your diagram in brackets, and then put the charge at the top outside the bracket. So if you have a chart, whether it's positive or negative, you have to put your drawing in brackets.
So say if it was like, because it's just 1, it's a -1. Say if it was like -3, you put the 3 on
Yes. And if you put -1 here, you'd be perfectly fine too. Alright, so any questions with this? Because it was -1, one's understood, you don't have to write the 1. If you do write the 1, it is okay. Alright, how about NH4 plus? We'll do a positive one too.
You're gonna have to subtract 1.
That's so loud.
I'm not talking to nobody in particular.
I think you are.
So we have M and we have H. I like that. Make that perfectly round circle. Alright, so nitrogen has how many valence electrons? 5 times its subscript, which is 1, so that gives us 5. Hydrogen has how many valence electrons? 1, we have 4 of them, so that gives me 4. I add it up, gives me a total of 9. But I have a positive sign, right? So what does that mean? It lost 1. So that means I got to subtract 1 from my total number, right? So I'm going to subtract 1, and that gives me 8 total. And then when I divide that by 2, that gives me 4 pairs. All right, so who goes in the middle? N. All right, so how many nitrogens or how many hydrogens do I bond to the nitrogen? 4. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that used all my pairs, right? So can I put any pairs as dots or anything? No, but I don't need to, right? Because remember, hydrogen's a exception. Once it has a bond, it's happy, it's good. We're never going to put dots on it. And nitrogen already has its 4 pairs, right? So I'm finished? No. I got to put the brackets. Since it has the charge, we got to put the brackets. And I'll put plus, or if you put +1, that's fine. All right. Any questions with that? I got 3 more examples I want to work. And then practice. Well, by that time it'll probably be about time to the bell, and then tomorrow we'll do practice. All right.
You do that a lot lately.
O2.
Yes, sir. It spells gin.
My mom.
This example also works the way we work this one. Any 2-atom one that you would have. So not only the diatomics like O2, F2, that, but if you had like carbon monoxide, CO, you'd use the same process in working with this as we would do this one.
Stop making this.
Are very similar to it. So oxygen is the only atom I have, right? If I had carbon monoxide, I put C and O. But so now, how many valence electrons does oxygen have? 6. Its subscript is 2. So that gives me 12. And then I'm going to divide it by 2 to get the pairs. And I get 6 pairs, right? So now, do you think there's really a central atom here? No. I just have 2 atoms, right? The same thing would work if you had like C and O. You'd do the same thing. So I'm just going to bond the 2 O's together to start with. So we'll take an O bonded to a O, right? So of my 6 pairs, how many did I use to bond the oxygens together? 1, which means I have 5 pairs left over. So I'm going to pick one of the oxygens, it doesn't matter which one, and start making it have 4 pairs, right? So how many pairs do I need to put on this oxygen for it to have 4?
Wouldn't you do a pi bond and do two pairs of dots?
Ultimately, yeah, but we're going to see how we got there. You are correct, though. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3 pairs, right? So when I take the 3 pairs, that leaves me with 2 pairs left over, right? So I can put those 2 on the other oxygen. And now I'm out of pairs, correct? But does everybody have 4 pairs? No. This oxygen does, but does this one? No. So what do you think we're going to need to do? We'll have to pi bond. So I'm going to have to take a pair off of the oxygen with 3 pairs and turn it into a pi bond. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they both have 4 pairs. So any questions with this one? So this one kind of had a little twist to it.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you subtract 1 from the 6 and not 2?
And it worked, didn't it?
Because when I originally started, remember we started by doing O bonded to O, right?
Mm-hmm.
We always start by single bonding.
Oh, yeah.
So when I did that, I had 1 pair that I used.
Okay.
How about NO2 minus? So I have nitrogen and I have oxygen, correct? So how many valence electrons does nitrogen have? 5 times 1, which gives me 5. Oxygen is, I guess I'll put y'all all to sleep. 6 times 2 is 12.
16.
We add that up, we get 17.
How did I get 7?
And then I have a minus, which means I have to do what? Add 1.
And so it'll be 8.
So that gives me 18 total. I divide by 2, and I have 9 pairs. All right? So who goes in the middle? N.
What's that? I'm just using this.
And I'm going to bond how many oxygens to it? 2. So I have O and O.
Oh no.
So how many bonds did I use? 2. So that means I use 2 pairs, which gives me 7 pairs left over, right? So I'll start with my terminal atoms, and I need to put 3 pairs on each, correct? So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means I have 1 pair left over, right? So where am I going to put that one pair? On nitrogen. Because if I look at nitrogen, how many pairs does it have? 2, so it also wants to have 4 pairs, right? So I can put my leftover pair on there. Now I'm out of pairs, but does nitrogen have the 4 pairs that it wants? So what do you think we need to do? We need to take a pair off of one of the oxygens and turn it into a pi.
That makes sense.
Right? So the reason for the, well, hold on. Am I finished?
No.
Okay. What else do I have to do?
Take one off of the other one.
Since it's a polyatomic ion, I'm going to put it in brackets and put the charge. Alright, the reason for this one was to show that I don't always have to double bond both terminal atoms. Sometimes you may double bond one. Alright, and that's fine. The only thing though is the terminal atom that you double bond has to be the one you took the dots off of. So I couldn't have taken the dots off of this one and drawn the line right here. Alright? Because remember, they all have to have 4 pairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright? So any questions with this one? Alright, one more example to go. PCl5. So phosphorus has how many valence electrons? 5. And I have 1 phosphorus, so that gives me 5 total. Chlorine has how many valence electrons? 7 times 5, which gives me 35, which is going to give me 40 total valence electrons. So I divide that by 2, I get 20 pairs. Right? So if I have, who goes in the middle? P. This time, how many chlorine do I have to bond to it? 5. Does it matter that that's more than 4? Not really. This is what's called an expanded octet. So again, sometimes remember we had the complete octet where you couldn't make the center one have 4 pairs. Sometimes you'll run into cases where the center one will have more than 4 pairs. Right? In this case, since I have 5 chlorines, it's obviously going to have more than 4 pairs to bond each chlorine to it. Right? So it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I used 5 of the 20, which means I have 15 left over. So where are the 15 going to go? On the chlorines. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now I'm out of pairs. Does everybody have at least 4 pairs?
Yeah.
Yes? And phosphorus has 5, so it's just extra half. Alright, I don't have an example of it on the board to work, but I know there's one in the practice that I give you with an expanded octet. The other way you can see that is maybe you have 4 terminal atoms, and once you've made all the terminal atoms have 4 pairs, you may have some pairs of electrons left over, right? So if you have any extra electrons left over after they all have 4 pairs, you just add them to the central atom. So you make it have 5 or 6 or whatever. Alright? So basically, the whole gist of all of this Except for hydrogen, you want to make everybody have 4 pairs. If you don't have enough pairs to make everybody have 4 pairs, you take pairs off of the terminal atom and take dots off the terminal atom and turn them into bonds until the middle has 4 pairs. Right? If you have more than enough electrons to make everybody have 4 pairs, then you add all your extra electrons to the single atom.
Do the outro. Goodbye. No, guys, wait. Guys, wait, okay.
And I have one terminal atom with 4 extra dots instead of 5 instead of 3. All the extra pairs that go on the. Alright, so any questions with this? Is this making more sense now? Tomorrow I'm going to give you practice to do with this. Alright, because this is at least 36
Stop laughing
points
at
for the
me.
next step.
Why do they just making silly faces?
And that doesn't include the
Jesus Christ. Oh wait, bye. Bye.